number 011. When to fire a client. Not all money is good money.
So, welcome back to Motion to Spill. I'm Sarah Young.
And I am Meghan Rodgers, her favorite certified paralegal.
You don't have to qualify it anymore. Bridget probably doesn't even listen.
What in the world?
Do you think this is for Bridget or for her?
You are my favorite certified paralegal. You are.
I'm not certifiable, just certified.
Are we even? We're not even a minute into this, and you're already giving me a hard time about this.
Well, until I get you to see it my way, I'm just not going to stop arguing.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah, that is. That is how it goes. But I get to start the rapid fire questions this time.
Oh,
it's
no.
my turn.
Wait, we didn't agree to that.
We totally did. You just don't remember. So anyway, Sarah, what's the weirdest thing you find attractive in a person?
Someone's weird humor. I think that someone's quirky dryness, like an uncanny ability to come up with random movie quotes and insert them into your regular conversation, like I think that's really attractive. Not just because I do it, but
I do that.
no, I think that it's like because you have to listen, and most people just don't catch things because they're not really listening. But I think that's attractive when you have someone that can be witty on multiple levels. Or were you talking about like a physical attribute?
Well, I was going physical, but I was going to let you do emotional. That's fine. Intellectual.
Emotional.
Intellectual.
I don't want to talk about feelings right now. No, ma'am.
So what's
It's off the table.
What's yours, Megan?
So the weirdest thing that I find attractive is I like short people. Like I find short people very, very
She's
attractive.
into gnomes and dwarfs.
Okay, they don't have to be that short.
Like,
just shorter
like
than
the
me.
7 dwarfs.
They have to be shorter than me. It's a thing.
Big noses, long beards. The
She's
7
taking
dwarfs.
this in weird. She's taking this weird. Like no, they just have to be shorter than me.
And bearded.
Well, I'm out.
So, but I know that everybody's like, that's so weird. Why do you like that? No.
Yeah, that's actually... You need to silence your phone, ma'am.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, because well, I mean, if we're that isn't a quality that most people don't see, but find attractive. Because for me, it's kind of a deal breaker. You know, you have to be taller than me. But anyway, that's why I love my big old bear of a husband.
As my wife would say, I'm squishy. And I have been called a bear by drag queens.
Okay, I wasn't going there.
I'm going there. I have no
have
problem.
in the past, but you have to talk to Travis about that when he comes on.
Yeah, I actually was called a polar bear.
Oh,
One of the most popular, famous drag queens in this area. I have shared a stage with her. And I asked, I said, so Paisley, would I be considered a bear? And all the guys in the audience, because I am an MC for Pride. All the guys in the audience, yes, yes, yes. She goes, with that beard, honey, I think you would be a polar bear.
oh, I love it. That is so funny.
So that's what I say.
Okay,
All right.
my turn.
Wait, that's not
Out
how
of
that
nowhere.
went. I get one more.
We didn't agree to that. But okay, go ahead.
What's the worst pickup line you've ever heard or dished out?
Okay, well, that's easy. We've already covered this on the podcast. The client that said he was going to lift you up over the bar whenever he asked you to do something that was unethical. And you said, no, sir, no. And he was like, well, why not? And she said something like, well, the bar won't allow it. And he said, I'll lift you up over that bar, baby.
Did he say the baby part?
No, I added that. Oh. But I was standing right there.
But he did say it in that like, yeah, voice.
Ew.
It's creepy.
Anyway, what was the question? I don't remember.
What's the worst pickup line that you've ever heard or dished out?
I usually like am joking and I'll say these random things to my husband and he just rolls his eyes. But I can't think of any right now.
That's all right. I'll have to remember to ask him when he's on.
Yeah. So what about you?
Oh, for sure. Lifting me up over the bar was the worst one I've ever heard. But I also heard several times when I was in the Navy that, they wanted me to be their wife for a night. And I was like, really?
Ew.
It's like the best you got?
Ew.
I don't want to be your wife ever.
Creepy.
Not even for a night. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's like, did they even think that out? Probably not.
Well, they're in the Navy.
No, they were Marines.
Oh, okay,
They were the Marines.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Tim?
Well, let's see. On the chance of being really bad, I have said, "Is that a mirror in your pocket? Because I can see me in your pants." I have, let's rearrange the vowels so you and I are next to each other. Let's see. Is your name Puzzle? You're the piece I've been missing.
Oh, what about, are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see. That's kind of a oldie,
Yeah, I've seen
but goodie.
that. Yeah.
So, I have heard this before. Granted, it was when I was in college, more than 20 years ago, because I'm old. Megan's like, I would need a drink for this. Excuse me while I sip my beverage.
That's why I didn't Dr. Pepper, man.
Hey girl, I seem to have lost my phone number. Can I have yours?
Yes.
That's actually been used on me. Did it work? Absolutely not.
That time.
I did have someone back in the day when cell phones held a charge for all of 45 minutes. They're like little bricks in your pocket. And they would ask me like, hey, my phone died and I need to text my ride to come pick me up, or I need to call my ride to come pick me up. Can I borrow your phone real quick? I only fell for that once. Because you know what happens.
They text themselves.
Yes, so that they then have your number. The next day they're like, hey girl, I'm that one that borrowed your phone. You want to go out sometime? No! I didn't want to go out with you last night. I don't want to go out with you tonight.
I don't
No,
want any
not happening.
clandestine dudes. Just go away.
Let's see. How about, Oh, here's a good one. Is your father a thief? Because someone stole the stars from the sky and put them in your eyes.
Oh, wow. That's level of cheesy.
Cringe.
So,
To that, I would have to go.
So-
This.
Yeah.
So my daughter Monica was reading a story, and in it the guy had a really bad pickup line, but she did not understand what it meant. I think she was in 8th grade. And so she lets me read it, and it was horrible. It was horrible. But
what was it?
this girl was trying to pick up a guy at a concert. And she said, can I write my number on your arm and you can call me? And he said, oh, girl, we don't do that anymore. We don't put numbers on our arms. I was like, we went straight to Auschwitz on that? Oh, my God.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know what to do with that other than I have one more that I just have to share.
Okay, share it.
It's a good thing I bought life insurance because when I saw you, my heart stopped.
I like how she gets all sexy when she says it.
That's my best sexy
See
voices.
you,
Not very
my
sexy.
heart just stopped.
I'm glad that
I can
I'm
never
glad that you
moonlight as
didn't-
a phone sex operator. That would never be me. I would just say something weird and then I mean, they'd be like, yeah,
I
just
lost
killed
it.
it.
Never
Can I
mind.
talk to you about my friend Jesus?
That's actually happened to her at work several times. She's been handed tracts
Oh,
when clients are leaving.
Yeah. Or like little business cards that have like the church information on it. And I love Jesus. I'm a Christian. I go to church sometimes. And
I've seen a couple.
yeah, I've graced a door or two. So but I try and avoid politics and religion at all costs in all consultations and client interactions because I'm not going there. Because
I just about died when the guy's like, have you heard the good news? And
yeah, that happens.
Sarah was like, excuse me?
What do you mean? Jesus coming back? What? No.
Never heard. Never heard it before.
I don't watch the news.
Yeah, that one did hand me a track. Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I don't know if I said something offensive. Probably did. Whoops. Sorry.
Honey, you need Jesus.
We all need Jesus. All of us. Okay, next topic. Do you got another question or?
No. It's
That was
your
great grammar, by the way. Did you like that? You got another question? Or is it my turn?
Now you're channeling your inner Amber.
Which is my geriatric dog. We have voices for all the animals.
We do. We make them talk all the time. She only has 2 teeth left in her head. And she is a certified mutt. Like, you can just tell, like, she's a little bit of everything. But her goal in life is to take Sarah with her.
Oh,
because
my
she's
goodness.
on death's door. To the point where there are several times that I've gone over to that dog and been like, is she still breathing?
Or we'll give
She's
Amber
17.
updates. Yeah. We'll give Amber updates, like if we're like playing board games or something and you go to the bathroom and you see her like laying in the hallway. Sometimes you just have to look real close and nudge her a little bit because you really don't know.
Get out of my hole.
But her favorite thing to do is to try to stand right behind Sarah at all times in the kitchen. So when Sarah backs up, she falls. And
I've already broken, she learned that from my other dog, Harvey. That's literally how I broke my ankle.
yep,
my
and so
tibia.
she's like, I'm taking you with me.
Yep, that's Amber's voice. And she is very labored in everything she does.
Yeah, she's constantly, even when she's walking to go out to the bathroom, she'll be like, you're
She
like,
hates the snow.
let her go.
She
Just let her go.
hates the snow. And I won't go into like other issues that dog has. I love her to death. That is Travis's pride and joy. He loved that dog with his whole heart. That's like his first love. Anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do. He's going to have to just come to work with me because I'll have to watch him closely when she dies. He's going to be so upset. Anyway.
All right.
Does he have a 11 by 14 canvas picture of this dog?
Oh, I'm sure he would if he had thought about it.
I do of my now deceased dog.
Oh, I'm sure he's actually talked about cremating her because most of the pets have just been buried, in the backyard. But
I did that too.
But I suspect that this one just, is very special to him. So I don't know. We'll talk about that later. The question I have for you, what's something weird that you recommend everyone tries at least once?
I can't think of an answer for that.
I mean, I know what book I say everyone in the world should read.
No,
Which one is that?
this is food.
Oh, food.
Yeah.
Sweetbread.
Fosnots.
I actually agree with you, Tim. Like, it sounds disgusting once you learn what it actually is.
Yeah.
But it's delicious.
Yep. What'd you say?
Fosnots.
That's right. We've had that discussion
Yep.
before.
Yep. I would say, since some people have never had it, I would say sushi. Because it's not really weird anymore. It used
My
to be.
favorite.
But certainly caviar,
Yes.
which we need to enjoy later.
Yes.
Anyway, did you know that at Schmugblix, they carry a version of schmaviar? Okay, it's just called caviar, but they have it at Schmugblix. So if you're looking for it, you don't want to pay $85, $100, $300 for it, check it out. Haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
We'll report back later.
We'll report back on our next recording session if it was actually worth it or not.
Which brings me to my next question. And, we touched on this slightly in our last episode. It's a very burning question. I've been really, really worried about this. It's been keeping me up at night.
Okay.
Because, I wake up, I'm not an insomniac, but I have this thing where, like, I wake up in the middle of the night and I cannot go back to sleep. And I'll just get up and walk around. Sometimes I'll sit. read something, check my email. I don't know. Then it's 3:30 in the morning. Not time to get up yet. Go back to bed. But one of the things that keeps me up at night, I just really, really want to know, Tim, I think I know what you're going to say, but just humor me on this one, both of you. But would you rather have unlimited sushi for life or unlimited tacos for life? Any form, any fashion.
Well, again, I go with tacos because I can have sushi tacos.
Touche. You know, I was going to go there, but on the sushi end of it, because I like rice. Although you can put rice in a taco.
Yes. You can put anything in a taco.
Anything can become a taco. There's no definition of the vessel. In fact, you know, you can have corn, flour, crunchy, soft, seaweed, whatever. Okay. Megan, what's your answer?
Sushi.
Good for you.
She has no other words. When has this ever happened?
She was
Mark
decided.
this date and time in history. Megan has no other words.
She was decided.
I don't appreciate you telling me I'm number one in this moment with that finger.
You love it.
That was...
You love being number one at least.
You do. You want to be number one.
Okay.
Número uno. Número un. Nombre.
Okay, so let's get back to the topic at hand, and then we can digress a little bit, as always happens.
We're good at that.
Yeah, we're already 15 minutes in, so. So true story. Again, in case you forgot, I kind of did for a second. When to fire a client. This is really tricky for me. Let me just let you in on a little something, a little insight in my personality here. I am really bad at saying no. I feel like I have a civic duty to help people because I can. In many cases, in some cases I cannot, but part of my responsibility or ethical responsibility as an attorney is to help and do more good than harm. My context just happens to be in the legal field. So I have a really hard time saying no, especially when people are coming to me and crying and, you know, they're just so upset. I have a really hard time saying no. But here's a true story. I once had a potential client who in the first 30 minutes interrupted me about 12 times, told me I was wrong about the law, according to the Google, or my favorite, TikTok, and demanded that I do work outside of my practice areas. Now, some things touch and concern others, but I draw hard lines on things I do not do because it is outside my area of expertise, and I'm just not doing it. I don't take the case. And in this case, I didn't. So even though they might have been a decent paying client, you just have to say no sometimes.
So is it hard to say no to money or is it hard to say no to a person?
The person. Absolutely the person. Most of the time. I mean, you've worked with me long enough, Megan. You know this. I'm not really that money driven.
No, you're not.
I'm person driven, people driven. So it's hard for me. But I learned a long time ago, and I'm still struggling with this. I'm still working through this. But some clients cost you more money than they ever pay you. Is that not the truth?
Oh, very much so.
Now, a lot of what we do is flat fee. And certainly we've had the clients out there that come with their 5 pages of questions for their 45-minute consultation or 30-minute consultation. And they just, just one more quick question, But, for the most part, people don't take advantage and they understand that, that time is money is time. But sometimes when you get to the point where you realize that some clients just make it so that you do not even want to answer the phone when their name pops up, maybe that's not a great relationship to maintain. So and then there are the clients that try and negotiate you down. They expect premium service, but they want to underpay. They always want something for nothing. And the chips are free.
Yeah. Late payments, no payments.
So it's really comes down, and this is just like harping on my economics background, but it's opportunity cost, The time you spend on a nightmare client could go to good clients, and the time you spend on people that are refusing payment, you could be spending on people that happily pay and are happy to pay. But it's hard. There's a mental, emotional aspect to that. you second guess yourself when people are constantly jabbing at you. It affects your passion for work. Get a little bit of email anxiety. I already have that. There's a lot in my email. But then also your reputation, because you have demanding clients that leave bad reviews no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try. You're just never going to make them happy. And when they leave those bad reviews, it's like, what could I have done differently? And sometimes there isn't an answer for that. A lot of times there is. But
or worst case, you can just be known as the person who works with nightmare people, because those people have friends. And then they tell their friends about you. And then their friends come and they're nightmare clients too.
Yeah, I said I would bring my no button. I did not bring it today. And then there's your team. There you go.
I got your no.
There you go. So then you have your team. So your employees and your partners hate working with them. Good staff might quit over bad clients. And then there's somewhat, it affects your work environment because you're having to deal with this unreasonable client. So, I had a colleague who calculated that one client took up 40% of her time but generated 8% of her revenue. That's like a nightmare scenario. And that client was making her miserable. The math made the decision very easy. So while, in what we do, it's hard because it's person-to-person relationships. I am not giving you, in most cases, a widget other than your estate planning binder or your corporate book. I'm not giving you a new roof. I'm not, fixing the plumbing in your house. I'm not replacing your HVAC system. So it's hard because where do you draw that line? They're paying for, your brain. And not to say that that's not a scary place, but, if it goes back to, I have overhead, I have people to pay, and I have, just the systems and the insurance alone in the legal field is exorbitant. So you have to look at it from a business perspective, and that's very hard for me. That's something I really struggle with.
So the best time to fire a client is before you take them on. And so let's talk about some red flags.
Well, in my context, in my field, we always know when we have the lawyer shopper. We had one last week. They had sent us an email or a message to our website. I had one of our staff members call within like 30 minutes of the submission. And it was, I've already called 3 other lawyers and they all said blank. They're either price shopping or they're shopping for the answer they want to hear. And those are huge red flags, especially the ones that are shopping for the answer they want to hear. They have an explanation for why everybody before you has gone wrong or bad, but here's a spoiler alert. You'll be the next bad one in their story, because it doesn't matter what the truth or the actuality is. They get to paint that picture however they want and whatever brushstrokes they want to paint it with.
And it doesn't just apply to the law and attorneys. This applies to every field.
Yeah, definitely. So let's say you're a wedding photographer or an event planner, and you meet with the bride that you're planning her wedding for, and every step of the way, it's an issue. It's tough. At the end of the day, after the wedding is over, you're like, I really don't know where this is going to go. I don't know.
Sadly, you could be at the point where I don't even want to do this anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. They want, or, you have the client, and I can honestly say I haven't come across this too terribly much, but they want you to do something unethical. And I draw a hard line there. So, if they say, can you just say X even though it's not true? Well, no, I cannot. Or I don't want to disclose this, or I don't want the legal answer. They want you to co-sign on their bad idea. And, to some extent, they get pushy, and it's just not going to work.
Yeah, my favorite goes into they don't listen. You start talking, and they're like, or, well, wait, what about, have you thought about it like this?
Well, I heard that, or I looked that up, or ChatGPT said, well, AI is still not 100% accurate. That's the scary thing. Mm-hmm. TikTok is certainly not a reputable legal source. But how many times, I mean, we talked about this before. How many times in an estate planning consultation have people said, well, I heard on the TikTok. At that point, it's like, all right.
Well, there's this attorney, and he said that I needed to.
Yeah.
Like, probably in California, yeah.
Yeah, wherever that person's situated. I don't know. But let's be clear. It's not bad for clients to know what they want, have specific needs, and ask. I love informed clients. I love it when people have done their research ahead of time. But there's a difference between I've done my research and here's my thinking versus I Googled this and you're wrong about the law in your area of expertise. So it's about managing unrealistic expectations. So if it should be really simple, or how fast can you do this before discussing even what needs to be done, or, well, my friend's lawyer did this for $500 when the fair price is well over that. You know, that goes back to, you know, the price issue, which, you know, I really struggle with.
Yes. Well, you can only have 2 of the 3.
Yeah.
Cheap, easy, and good.
That's a fact. You can have it cheap and easy, but it won't be good.
Yeah.
You can have it good and fast, but it won't be cheap.
So leading into the next, you know, when price is their only concern and they're negotiating before you've even explained what they need or what you're doing. And it's apparent. We had one recently that was not price shopping, but, you know, we went over some things in a consultation and I made some recommendations. And then this person went home and promptly downloaded something from the internet and then wanted me to review it and tell them it was good and sign off on it. I'm like, no, my name is not going to be on that document anywhere.
Nope.
So.
And then you also have the drama magnet clients. Oh, God, they're so life-sucking.
Yeah, everything's an emergency. Everything is someone else's fault. And they hate everyone they've ever worked with. Red flag.
And that
it could be you, Taylor.
And then the other thing is the ones that don't respect boundaries. And I'm thankful that you're at the point in your practice where you're at, because there are a lot more gatekeepers now.
Yes.
But I remember when I started for you, this was a problem.
Yes.
The boundary violations.
Yes, when you're out and about, you're meeting people, and you make the mistake of giving them your cell phone number. And then they pass, and it's usually not the people that you share your number with. It's usually the people they share it with that start texting me without permission.
Bubba
I like
told
the
me,
ones that just stop in. They're like, oh, yeah, well, Sarah will see me. Really? Really, Sarah will. She didn't have a fully booked day of people that she committed to. She should just stop what she's doing.
Yeah.
So
My friend Bubba told me I needed to come see you or call you, and he gave me your phone number.
yeah.
And let me talk to you about my divorce.
And I know you don't do this, but can you just, no. If I feel uncomfortable in the first meeting, I don't take the case. Your gut is telling you something, listen to it.
So what if they seemed fine at first, though, and then it turned into a nightmare?
It's complicated. It depends. But you fire them. And here's when. Number 1, they're not paying. Or they continue to negotiate payment plans and break them up even further. They dispute every bill. And your accounting person now knows them by name. And this isn't just in law. This is just in business in general. But number 2, scope creep on steroids. So quick question emails that require an hour to answer. Constantly adding work without discussing fees. Or while you're at it, can you also...
Oh, God, we get that all the time.
And I'm not saying...
for a fee. It's not that that's the problem. The problem is when you are knowing you're asking someone to do something that is their job and their livelihood, and you don't expect to have to pay for it.
Yeah. Number 3, and we've come across this before. In fact, we had a client, and this has happened multiple times. It's funny, even since I've gone out on my own. So my practice, I've been in practice on my own by myself or apart from my previous firm. since November of 2022. And so you give them legal advice. They say, thank you very much. No, I'm going to do the opposite. And then you get a call a year and a half. In this person's case, I'm thinking of in my head 2 years later. And well, I didn't follow your advice. And at least this person admitted that they did not follow my advice and came to me to fix it. So that was a better scenario than the one who comes back and they blame you when it goes wrong. Basically, they want you to clean up their mess without preventing new ones. But they're not going to follow your advice. History repeats itself. They showed you, what do you always say? They show you.
You showed me who you are. I'll believe you the first time.
Yes, that. And then, they're the easy ones. Abusive behavior, like yelling, cursing, threatening. Rude to the staff, making unreasonable demands.
That is probably my pet peeve. I can't stand when people are rude to my staff. I just do not like that.
Nor should you, and nor should you have to put up with it.
Right.
So, how many times have you had someone scream at you? I mean, I can think of several from the time I've worked for you.
Yeah, I try and put that in perspective. This is getting a little off topic because, I still have kept clients that have screamed at me because if you think about what we handle very emotional things. Someone's loved one has just died, or they can't access their money or whatever, and it's hard because you have to stop it. You have to address it right away and say, we will not be yelled at. You will not talk to my staff that way. If you can't be respectful, we can help you find another attorney. But there have definitely been moments where I've seen red. And even if they apologize, I was ready to fire them on the spot because I just don't think that anyone needs to deal with that. And it's not fair. It's abusive. So but it is tough because when is it that they've lashed out and they see that they did that, and when is it abusive? And when is it going to repeat itself? So with this existing clients, it's tricky because you already have that attorney-client relationship where, in non-law context, you already have that existing relationship with the client. They're a good paying client. And let's say, in the context of someone that does hair, they do your hair or you do their hair and they love it, tip you very well. The next time they say they love it, and then they start blown up on social media, like just running their mouth. Or I've even heard about people disputing charges on their credit card because they didn't like how their hair was done. And then they come back and want you to do it again. And you're like, I don't think so. Because you don't have to take them as a client. If it's just not working out, it's just not working out. It's not worth the money, not worth the effort, not worth the drama. So
then you have the liars. Those are also really fun. When they lie to you, that is so fun.
Yeah, or the conflict of interest that develops sometimes. It happens.
Because they didn't
they withheld information, and and then it could potentially put you in an ethical bind. You really have to watch out for those.
So the dread test is where my dad's stuff comes in.
Just tell us about that.
So if every time you see their name on your schedule, you feel sick. If your family knows about the client, even if they don't know the story or context, but they just know that you have this client, and by a nickname, they know who you're talking about because you're just so stressed out about them. And it's not sustainable. It's not worth it. It doesn't matter how much money they pay you. They could be your top client. But if you dread every time you have to deal with them, they got to go.
Yeah, don't ignore that feeling, because if you're dreading working with someone, that's your mind and your body telling you that something is wrong. So don't ignore that feeling.
So how do you think someone should be fired?
Very carefully, professionally, always in writing. So check your contract or engagement letter, and what does it say about termination? What's required for notice? Do you owe them anything? Do they owe you anything? So For licensed professionals, you'll have to check the ethical rules because you can't just abandon a client at a critical time, and you have to give reasonable notice. You have to return client property, and you have to provide information that they need to transition. And then you have to draft the letter. So
But we're not going to include all the reasons you're firing them. Emotional language or the blame game. And honestly, anything that can be used against you later.
So you know what I do, and I've done this my entire career. I don't remember, at some point someone suggested this, and I took the advice. I will draft a letter, and if I'm really upset, I'm really fired up, I'm like, seeing red about it, or I'm just like so done with it and angry, I'll draft a letter, print it out. Don't touch it for the rest of the day, and as I'm leaving my office for the rest of the day, I leave that letter on my keyboard. And then when I come in with fresh eyes the next day, I read it. If it still looks good, good to go. 100% of the time, change something though. But, it's kind of cathartic because you can get out exactly what you want to say. And then you come back later and you're like, all right, let's make this more reasonable.
Yeah.
I think it's a good practice in general. Don't ever send anything out to a client when you're mad. That's just a bad idea. But, you have to skirt the line, or you have to be sensitive because, while there is attorney-client privilege in my field, that doesn't keep the client from giving it anything in writing, anything that you've given them in writing. You never know who that's going to be given to. So you have to be careful with that.
So we document everything. Mm-hmm. We get proof of delivery. And then we actually do the transition, returning their files and property. And you don't ghost them. You have to be professional all the way through.
Yep.
But protect yourself.
That's right. And if you do it over phone call, then I would follow it up with a letter, like per our conversation on this date at this time. These are the things we discussed. And for these reasons, I'm out. I mean, obviously, it has to be reworded, but it's the crux of it.
Yeah.
So don't get into all the reasons. Don't let them negotiate with you. Don't feel guilty about it. I struggle with that one myself. And don't back down if they pressure you. That's just further confirmation that it's not a good relationship. So I think we should, we're going to talk numbers, but for time's sake, let's skip that.
Okay.
Let's go more with the growth angle. So every hour you spend on a bad client is an hour you can't spend with a good one. I've always heard that my entire career. I struggle with that myself, but firing bad clients doesn't necessarily hurt your business. It makes room for better business, right?
Yeah, but when you're small, you think you need every client.
I'm still at that point. I still haven't gotten over that. I've been practicing for how many years? A lot, but it's hard. I'm a people pleaser, and I always want to grow, and I can't. It's so hard for me to say no,
But good clients want to work with people who have good clients, and bad clients just attract more bad clients.
Drama breeds drama.
Yes, it does.
So I would suggest, we'll make this quick. Megan,
Yes.
give us some criteria for what is not a good fit and what should be red flags. I'm not going to use the T word. Trigger.
You hate the trigger word.
I hate that word. It's overused and it's so millennial. But anyway, no offense, millennials. Keep listening. Love you. Mean it. So, you need to have this criteria before you're desperate or emotional or angry. Like before you get to the point where you're like firing off this email and you're type click, 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 click. And then you print it out and you leave it on your desk. Before you get to that point, you probably should have already established this criteria. But what is that criteria? What do you think?
For the must-haves?
So
with your clients or the deal breakers?
You're not a good fit criteria.
So, well, my number one is rude to staff.
Yes.
If you're rude to staff, then that is not we're not going to work together. That's not okay. You're not going to call them names and think they work for you. Not like that. That's rude.
Unrealistic expectations, even after explanation. Yep.
And they don't want to pay a fair price. And there is a difference in when someone legitimately can't afford it. And you can see that when someone literally legitimately can't afford it versus somebody who's just like, maybe I can, talk them down.
Yeah.
And so if price is your motivating factor, then we're not the law firm for you.
Right. So, and again, this crosses all areas if you're a small business owner or otherwise. You need to build your ideal client profile. That's something that one of the networking groups I'm in that happens to be very expensive and has attendance requirements. I'm not going to share which one that is. They meet once a week. They are very they're particular about developing your ideal client profile. So what industries and situations do you love? What size matters? Budget, company size? What personality types work well with you? What values must they share? What is that? So what do all of those things together look like in your ideal client?
So do you have a go-to phrase when you have to tell somebody, thanks, but no thanks?
Again, it's tricky, but typically I say, I don't think we're the best fit for what you're needing. I'm happy to recommend someone who might be better suited, because at the end of the day, if it's outside of my area of focus, you really don't want me doing it. You don't want me doing your divorce. You don't want me to handle your DUI, your DWI.
Yeah.
That's not my area.
Got that?
And you know what? You don't even owe them a detailed explanation. If you've not engaged them already, you don't, or you haven't hired them, they haven't hired you. Not a good fit is just enough. You're not the right lawyer, consultant, contractor for everybody, and that is okay. Cut yourself some slack. Trust your gut. It's okay to cut ties. So that's my pep talk for the day. But look, I know it's scary to turn away money, especially when you're building your business. But bad clients don't just cost you money. They cost you time, energy, peace of mind, and opportunity. So we gave action items last time. I kind of like that. Do you like that?
I do.
All right. Write down your deal breakers now. Calculate the actual cost of your worst client. Practice saying, I don't think it's a good fit. And give yourself permission to fire one bad client this year.
On your birthday.
On your birthday. Oh, you know what? Sarah's birthday is coming up, so all right. But remember, you're running a business, not a nonprofit for difficult people.
And that I have really had to keep in perspective. Because you need to protect your peace, you need to protect your business and protect your team. And not all money is good money. So with that, this has been Motion to Spill in my best Tim Beeman voice.
Very good. Motion to Spill.
From the Sarah Young.
And the Meghan Rodgers.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring to it. It's just not the same.
All right.
You have to come up with something else.
Listen next time. Thanks. See you later. Quick reminder, while I am a lawyer, I may not be your lawyer. This podcast is designed to educate and entertain, not to provide legal advice for your personal situation. Every legal issue is unique, and good legal advice requires knowing all the specifics of your case, which I don't have from a podcast. If you need legal help with a legal matter, please consult with a qualified attorney in your jurisdiction who can give you personalized guidance. Thanks for listening, and remember, no attorney-client relationship is created by tuning in.
This is Motion to Spill. All rights are reserved. So this podcast is ours, not yours. We made it, we own it, and we copyrighted it. So don't steal our stuff, don't copy it, share it commercially, or don't try to pass it off as your own genius. If you want to use our content for something, just ask us, like a normal person. We might say yes, and we might say no, but at least you won't be breaking the law. Seriously though, unauthorized use of this content can get you in legal trouble, and no one wants that kind of drama. And I mean, come on, she's an attorney. Don't mess with her.